Hello everyone, and today we're learning about Bekama Daf Kuf Beis. Says the Gemara, Omar Rav Kana, ve'etzim la'asoko tanoihi. So Rashi explains that the Gemara means to say the following. The Gemara is saying that we're talking about Shemitah over here, and we know that Shemitah, anything that's a fruit has a din Shemitah, and something that's no fruit like trees, it doesn't have din Shemitah. Now the shaila is, a machlokes tanoim that we're going to see is something, do we go about the specific person and we say, okay, he took this fruit or he took this tree to use it for something that's shmitadik, let's say something that when you bi'uron and awesome is b'shove, that you consume and you enjoy it at the same time, and then you look at this specific person and say, okay, depends what he thought. If he took it, if he's using it, let's say it's fruit, and he's using it for eating, so then obviously it's Shemitah. But if he's using it for something else, it doesn't have Shemitah on it. Or maybe you say, no, depends what the item is. If it's fruit is something that you normally eat, and therefore fruit will always have Shemitah, and wood you normally burn, so therefore there's no Shemitah on wood. And it doesn't matter that he wanted to use the wood for something like moshchon, like we had before on Kuf Aleph Amud Beis, that we said that, and also Berurim B'Shava using it for a candle, so therefore Shemitah will be chal on it. So let's see the Gemara. Omar of Krana, ve'etzim la'asoko tanoi. The Tanya we learned in the Brisa, ein moisum peris shvis lo lemishra v'lo lekvusa. You're not allowed to use fruit of shvis, not to soak flax in it, and not lekvusa, and not for washing. Rabbi Yossi argues, he says, noisim peris shvis l'toich mishra, you're allowed to use it for soaking flax or l'toich kvusa, and to wash over clothes. My time of the Rabbanon, what's the reason of Rabbanon? Omar Kroy, it says in the Pasuk of Shemitah, l'ochlo, to eat it, and we dash from there, v'lo lemishra, and not to soak in it flax. L'ochlo v'lo lekvusa, to eat and not for washing. Rabbi Yossi Omar Kroy, it says in the Pasuk, lochem, for your use, l'kol tzorcheichem, anything you need, and therefore some people use fruit for washing and soaking flax, therefore you're allowed to do it. As the Gemara of Rabbanon Nami Aksiv Lochem, it says Lochem, and Lochem means for all what you need. Says the Gemara, Lochem dumya de la'achila. Yeah, it's for your use, but it has to be something like eating. What does that mean? B'misha and also you be something that when you enjoy it and when you consume it at the same time, like food, Yotzu mishra v'kvusa shana osam achal b'uram, that it sits in the water for the washing, or the flax sits in this water with the fruit for a long time, and I know that it's clean only comes afterwards, but the fruit gets destroyed already at the beginning, so the consummation and the enjoyment is not at the same time. Rabbi Yossi Nami Yaksiv Lo'achlo, it says for eating only. Omar Lechor, Rabbi Yossi will explain, the Tanya, from Lo'achlo we learned something else. The Tanya we learned in the Brisa, Lo'achlo v'lo lemelugmo, not to use it as a patch. Like, let's say to put it like a cucumber. Let's say you have a cucumber on shviz, you can't put on your eyes it's like a medicine for your eyes to make your eyes better. Or anything that's like a medicine that you put on your skin. I'm telling you, that means to eat, and it's coming to exclude and not for medicine. Maybe it's coming to tell you that you're not allowed to use it for flax and not for washing. It says the other pasuk, it says for your use. It says that kvusa is allowed to use from perishvis. So what are we going to dash him from Lo'achlo? Lo'achlo v'lo leblugma, not for medicine. As the Gemara or Rabbi Yossi is explaining, Umaru is, what do you see? The rabbi is a kvusa to say that kvusa, yes, to use it for washing, you're allowed, but you're not allowed to use it as medicine. Says the Gemara, Mar b'ani is a kvusa, sheshove b'chol odom, it's more, the svara is that when we come into Mirabah, we're going to be Mirabah washing, because everyone needs to do washing. But we're excluding esamelugma, that's for medicine, that not everyone needs it, so it's more mistaba that should be forbidden to use from Perish Shvis. Says the Gemara, Keman oz lahodetanya. This brisa that we're going to see in a second, who is it going like? Rabbi Yossi or Rabbanon? It says, not for medicine, if you're not allowed to use wine of Shvis to spray around your house to have a nice smell. Because not everyone does that, only fancy people do that. You're allowed to eat it, but not to use a fruit of Shvis to throw up. Sometimes it's healthy for a person to throw up, and you'd take certain fruit and you'd make you throw up. It's forbidden. So the Gemara command, who is that going like? Rabbi Yossi. The Ikra Rabbanon, if it would be Rabbanon, Ikanami Mishra Kvusa, Rabbanon hold that La'achla is also coming to exclude washing and soaking flax in it. So since in this price it doesn't say these two, it must be that these prices are Rabbi Yossi, because Rabbi Yossi hold that you're allowed to use it for Mishra and Kvusa, because it's something that everyone has a use from. Mashenk in the other three things, for medicine and for spraying around your house and for throwing up, not everyone uses such type of things. So it comes out, Rabbi Yossi hold that depends what your machshava is. If a person took it for something like likvusa, we go with his machshava and we let him use it. But Rabbanan say no, fruit are only meant to be used as for eating, and it's not toile on this specific person. It's toile on das akoil, the most fruit go for eating, and that's a machlokes tanoim if stam eitzim la'asokon. So it comes out that Rabbi Yossi is makel in a certain way, because he holds that you're allowed to use it for washing and for the flax. But in a way, it's also machmer, because if he took wood and the person specifically had kavanah to use it as a candle, where it's an also yibur b'shavah, so then kedushas shvis will be chal on these trees. So it comes out that Rabbi Yossi in a certain case is machmer, in a certain case is mekel. Says the Gemara, it says in the Mishnah, Rabbi Yehuda Oima ima shvach es aletzia. So we learned what was the case in the Mishnah. The case was that he changed. He gave the artist to paint his wool, and the artist was told to do red and he did black, or the opposite. So we say that the artist loses. He only gets paid all the expenses, all the price I went up, the lowest of the two. Yosef Rabbi Yosef Achari de Rav Abba. Rav Yosef was sitting behind Rav Abba. That means Rav Abba was the first in the Shia. He was sitting in the first row. Kamed Rav Huna, in front of Rav Huna. Rav Huna was the Maggid Shia, or the Rashibi who was giving the Shia. Yosef Rav Huna v'Ka'amar. Rav Huna was sitting and he said, Alocha Rabbi Yishum Kocha. V'alocha like Rabbi Yishum Kocha, and soon we're going to see about what case. V'alocha Rabbi Yudah. And in the machlokes in our Mishnah between Rameh and Rabbi Yudah, the alocha is like Rabbi Yehuda. Hadrin Rabbi Yosef la'ape. Rabbi Yosef turned around to the rest of the Talmidim over there in the B'Smedrash, and he said, Oma bishlim Rabbi Yishua ben Kocha itztrich. We need to tell you the halachas like him. I might have thought Yochid v'Rabim, Alocha Karabim. We always know that Yochid v'Rabim, Alocha Karabim. Kumash Malon Tzarvun is telling us a Chiddush, Alocha Kiyochid. That in this specific case, Alocha is Kiyochid. And what's the case of Rabbi Shua ben Kocha? So the Gemara, Rabbi Shua ben Kocha Maihi, what's the case? The Tanya, we learned in the Brisa, Rabbi Shua ben Kocha Ima, Milva Bishtar, a loan that you have a document to prove that the person took a loan, and the one who took the money, who borrowed the money, is a goy. Eini froy mehem. You're not allowed to take the money to get your money back before the time, the holiday for Avodah Zarah. And the reason is why not? Because if you'll go to him and say, "Oh, Mr. Goy, you owe me £1 million," and it's just before his holidays, and he pays you off, and then he's going to go to his holidays, to the Avodah Zarah, and he's going to say, "Thank you, Avodah Zarah, you helped me pay off my loan." So we don't want him to thank his Avodah Zarah, so you're not allowed to sue him just before his holidays. And it's a milva shtar, there's a document, so you're not going to lose it. You can come in next week or in 2 weeks and get your money because you have a proof. But milva al peh, that there's no proof, it was done off by heart with no proof. Mifroimem, you're allowed to take it even before the holidays, and we're not choishes that he'll go thank the Avodah Zarah. Why? Because you don't have a proof, so if you won't pay off now, he might never pay. So if I could get it now, go and get what you're owed. And we know Chacham Mechoilek, and Chacham say it doesn't matter milva al peh, doesn't matter milva ashtar. You're not allowed to claim it from a goy before the holidays. So Rav Huna says that the halacha is like a b'shurim kocha. It's a big chiddush, even though the halacha karabim normally over here, the halacha is like a b'shurim kocha. Elo halacha Rabbi Yehuda lomali. What's the chiddush that the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda now Mishnah when he's arguing with Rav Meir? We know that machloikes v'achakach stam. If a Mishnah tells you an argument between two Tanoim and afterwards another Mishnah just tells you stam, like one of them, the din is. So the din is that the halacha like the stam, and we're going to see soon that there's another Mishnah in Baba Mitzia that says halacha the din of Rabbi Yehuda, and we just say it without the name of Rabbi Yehuda, and just we say the din like that, so we know that halacha is like him. So let's see. Elo halacha Rabbi Yehuda lomali machloikes v'achakach stami. V'machloikes v'achakach stam. What's the din halacha kestam? Machloikes Baba Mekama, what we just learned in the Mishnah. Litzvelo Odom v'tzova shocher. He gave it to the artist to paint it red, and he painted it black. Shocher v'tzova Odom. He gave it to paint it black, and he painted it red. Ramei oimen noitzenoid made simroi. He pays him the value of the wool because he's meshane and he's koinet b'shinui. Rabbi Yehuda, we give him a knas because he changed. If he went up in value more than the cost, all he has to pay is the cost. If the cost was to make it better is more than where it went better in value, all he has to pay where it went up in value. And we see a stam mission like Rabbi Yehuda. Ditnan, Kola Mishana, anyone who changes, like here they changed it from red to black, Yoda la Tachtoina, like the din of Rabbi Yehuda, the Kola Choyzeboy, and someone who changed his mind about something, Yoda la Tachtoina. So L'chora, Rav Yosef said that what's a big chiddush halacha like Rabbi Yehuda? Obviously, it's a stam, it's a machloikes v'achakach stam, and we know the din is machloikes v'achakach stam. Halacha is stam. Said the Gemara of Rav Huna, it's true. Why did Rav Huna have to say that halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda? Sal kedai tachamina. You might have thought ein say de la Mishnah that the Mishnah is not organized in a specific way, and therefore v'stam v'achakach machloikesi. Maybe really the Mishnah Bob Metzias really was said before the Mishnah in Bob Bekama by us, and therefore it's a stam in Bob Metzia, and over here it's a machloikes that's after the stam, and when it's stam v'achakach machloikes, we don't know how to paskin. Comes Rav Huna to tell you that we paskin like Rav Yehuda. So the Gemara of Rabbi Yosef, that he asked a kash on Rav Huna, and he didn't like that Rav Huna had to say that halacha is like Rav Yehuda. If so, kol machloikech v'achakach stam name and say de la Mishnah. If you're going to say like Rav Huna that ain't say de la Mishnah and it's not organized, so how do we ever have this rule that we say machloikes v'achakach stam, the halacha is like the stam Mishnah? You could always say the Mishnahs are not organized properly, so you'll never have this rule. Elamai, the Mishnahs are organized properly and it's a machloikes v'achakach stam, and therefore we know obviously the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. Said the Gemara Rav Huna, Rav Huna agrees that we say this din that machloikes v'achakach stam halacha is kestam. How do you say it? Maybe the Mishnayos are not organized. Kilo yamrina and say de la Mishnah. When do we not say that it's a mix-up and we say no, for sure it was specially written in this way? Bechad masechta, in one maseches, in Kiddushin, in brachas, wherever masechta it is, that's when you say it. Abba Bertrei Masechtes, but over here that we're talking about Baba Kama and Baba Mitzia, that are two different Masechtes. Amrinan, then you say, ain't say de la Mishnah, and you can't prove that it's a machloikes v'achakach stam, because maybe it's a stam v'achakach machloikes. So l'chora of Rav Yosef, what does he hold? So the Gemara, he holds Kula Nezikin Chada Masechta, he holds Baba Kama and Baba Mitzia and Baba Brasa is all considered one Masechta, and therefore if in Baba Kama it says a machloikes and in Baba Mitzia it says stam, so it's one Masechta, so you can't say Ein Seder la Mishnah, so therefore we know that halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. V'hibo is saying another way of understanding how it was so clear to Rabbi Yosef that halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda, not because it's stam machloikes v'achakach stam, for a different reason. Mishum diktoni lo gabe ilchis psikta, because it says the halacha, because it says the din in Boba Metzia by halachas are clear. It says lots of halachas over there. It says kol hameshana yod al hatachtoinu, kol hachoyze bo yod al hatachtoinu. It says it clear that in a sugya, Rashi says that it's not really related to over there. Why do we bring her in over there? Elomai, Rebbe, who is Masada the Mishnayos, wants to tell you that halachas like this. So even nothing to do with machloikes v'achach stam, just because it's not really related to over there and it's written by other halachas, we poisek like, we know the halachas like Rabbi Yehuda. So what do we need Rav Huna to tell me the halachas like Rabbi Yehuda? It's very clear. Says the Gemara, Tanu Rabbanon learned, Anoisen mois l'shluchoi, someone gave money to his messenger. So let's say Reuven gave Shimon money. Liknos lechitim. He told Shimon, go buy wheat. And Rashi explains the machtis charmin. Reuven is an investor and Shimon is the one who does the work. Shimon goes to buy wheat and his men sell it on for a higher price, and the profits they split between Reuven and Shimon. And now Shimon went, instead of buying wheat, he bought barley. Soirim, if Reuven sent him to buy soirim, but Shimon went and bought wheat. Tanya Choda, in one brayse it says in pochsu loy, that if it went down in value, the Shimon loses because he changed. And if it went up in value and he made money from it, Shimon is the one who benefits. You don't say 50-50 like the agreement because Shimon changed. And it says in another brayse, in pochsu loy, if they went down in value, so Shimon loses. But if they went up in value and he managed to sell it for a higher price, they go like the original agreement and they split the profits between Reuven and Shimon. So it's a stir between two brises. It's not kasha. One is Ramea v'Hor Rabbi Yehuda, and one is Rabbi Yehuda, the Ramea and Rabbi Yehuda that we had in the Mishnah. Ramea doma shinu koina, and therefore Shimon, who changed from what Reuven sent him to do, so he's koina in that shinui. So whatever happens, if he gains or loses, it's all on Shimon. V'Hor Rabbi Yehuda doma shinu eina koina, and therefore Shinu is not koina, so Shimon's not koina from the shinu that he did and he bought the wrong item. So if it goes up in value, they split. Mashenkin, if it goes down in value, they don't split the losses because Reuven can tell him, I sent you to do me good, not to do me bad, and you went and changed and you did me bad. So therefore, I'm not going to lose with you. So that's a way to understand the stir between the prices. Maskif lo Rabbi Loza asks a kasha on this. Mimai, how do you know this? Dilma, maybe ad kan lo yikar Ramea only spoke Elo only b'midi dechozi lelegufei. When he sent him, let's say in the Mishnah, he asked the artist to paint it red and the artist painted black. So it's something, I wanted a red wall. I wanted to have a red, nice wall. I didn't want to have a black wall. So that's why it's called a shinui. And therefore the artist is koine in that shinui. Avol is chayra, when Reuven sent Shimon to do business, lo yomar. All he cares is to make, Reuven sent him, all he cares is to make money. So if it went up in value, what does Reuven care? And Reuven should split the profits. He doesn't care what the money is being made from. Is it made from wheat or is it made from barley? So Elomar Rablaza, so Rablaza says, you know what? I don't like Rabbi Yochanan's teretz because I don't agree that Rameh would argue also over here. So therefore, he has to find a new teretz to the steer in the brises. Elomar Rablaza, Hava Rameh. They both brises are Rameh. V'loi kasha. Kan lachila, kan leschur. If the brisa where it says that Shinu's koina and whatever happens, if it goes up or down in value, the Shliach Shimon, it goes on him. That's where he sent him fachila. He sent him, go to the market to buy me wheat because I want to make bread from wheat. and the guy went and bought barley. So I don't want barley to eat barley. So therefore, if it went up or down in value, it's Shimon's business. But if it for business, so if it went up in value, Reuven says, okay, I'm happy, I wanted business. Yeah, you did good business, let's split. Masha'inkin, if it went down in value, he says, no, I don't want this. Says the Gemara, Machku alo b'Marova. In Marova, they laughed, they smiled about Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan, lefi Rabbi Yochanan, who said that it's a machloikis between the brises, between Rami and Rabbi Yehuda. Aliba de Rabbi Yehuda, lefi shitas Rabbi Yehuda, that we said that in the brisa, that the brisa that says that if it goes up, they split, and if it goes down, it's only on Shimon. V'chimio idioi lebal chitin sheikne chitin lebal mois. Meaning that when Shimon went and bought the wrong thing, the shopkeeper who sold the soirim instead of the chitim to Shimon, the shliach, he doesn't know that the money belongs to Reuven. He sees Shimon coming to buy, asking barley, and he gives him barley. He doesn't know anything about Reuven. So how will Reuven be koiner it? He has no way to be koiner it. That we say that Rabbi Yehuda says it goes up in value. Because we said that Lefi Rabbi Yehuda, if it goes up in value, they split, but the seller doesn't know anything about Reuven. Bishleima, Lefi, Rashi explains, Lefi Rabbi Elazar. Lefi Rabbi Elazar, we could understand that for business he doesn't care, he wants to gain, so he's sending him to buy anything, doesn't matter chitim or sorim. So therefore, Reuven's part of the business. But Lefi Rabbi Yehuda, that he's makbid, but Shinu is not koina, how is Reuven being koina the prophets? Said the Gemara, Matki Flor of Shmuel Bar Sasrati. Rav Shmuel, the son of Sasrati, asks a shaila on this marova that they made fun. Iochi afilu chitim v'chitinami. If you're saying that the seller doesn't know about whose money it is and he has no way to Reuven to be koina, so even chitin v'chitinami lo Reuven sent Shimon to buy chitin, and Shimon bought chitin. Even there, the seller didn't know that Reuven is Balamoy. So how will Reuven be koina half the profits? So lefi this svara of Bnei Marova. Omar Ravavo, it says Ravavo, shiny chitim v'chitim. In a case where he sent him to buy chitim and he actually bought chitim, then Reuven's koina the shlichusay kovid ukiyat balabais domi. He's like the hand of balabais. He's done his shlichus. It's like his long hand. Shimon is the hand of Reuven because he did his job. But when he changes, then it's a problem. Teida, and I'll bring you a raya. Ditnan, we learned in the Mishnah, echot amakdish nechosov. Someone who said all my possessions should be kodosh. Ve'echot amarches atzmo. Someone who said that I want to give my value to bedek habayis. And then the din is that the Gaboim go and take a mashkin from him, that he should pay his value. Ein loy biksus ishtoi. So his wife's clothes, v'loy biksus bonov, not his kids' clothes, v'loy betzeva shetzov lishmo, not the paint that he painted for his wife or kids, v'loy besandolim chadoshin shelokcho lishmo, not in new sandals that he bought for his wife or kids. So meaning, it says in the Mishnah that someone who said all his belongings should be Kodesh, that it doesn't mean that his wife's clothes and his kids' clothes and the stuff that were designated for his family don't become Kodesh. And the case of Marich, that means they can't take a mashkin any of these items. They could only take the items that belong to the husband that he uses. Why is it so? Let's say if the svara is mioidio, we should say also over here, mioidio letzavo sheiknet sivoy leisho, when the man went to get paint from the painter, to paint something for his wife, does the painter know that it's for his wife? He has no idea. And afilu we say it's his wife's and not his. And therefore it doesn't become kodesh. Elolav, what do we see? Mishum damrina, and we say the shlichusei kovid, that the husband is doing the shlichus of the wife when he goes buys her sandals or paints her clothes. Ukiyad eshtodomi, and he's like the hand of his wife. Ochenami, and therefore when he's makdish, he's not makdish those items. Ochenami, also by us, when he sent him to buy chitin, shlichusei kovid, ukiyad balabayis domi. He also, when I sent him to buy chitin, and he actually buys chitin, he's like my hand. And the raya is from this Mishnah. Omar Abba Loi. There's no raya from the Mishnah. Really, you can't say this dinner that he's like the shliach of the Baal HaChitin. But kol hamakdish nechosov ein dato el ksus ishto yubonov. The reason why, when someone is makdish all his possessions, we don't include in that his wife's clothes and his kids' clothes, is because when he was makdish it, he didn't have das, he meant to be makdish. We know that a person makdish all his possession, he means to say except of his wife and kids' clothes. That he doesn't mean to be makdish. Matye Flor Abzera, Astro Abzera Shaila, Vichidato Shel Odom al Tfilov. Does someone who's makdish all his possession have kavanah to be magdish also his tefillin? He needs his tefillin to daven every morning. Vitnan, we learned in the Mishnah, magdish nechosov, someone who is magdish all his possessions, malim loy tefillin, he has to redeem his tefillin to pay off hagdish to get his tefillin back. And like a person doesn't want to be magdish his wife's clothes, he also doesn't want magdish his tefillin. And we still say that his tefillin is kadosh. So Elamai, the svara that we're saying that he doesn't want to makdish a clothes is not correct. It must be that the reason why the clothes are not kadosh is because he's a shliach of ishtoi. Omar le Abaye says no. Yes, but it means no. I don't agree with what he's saying, that tefillin, a person does have kavanah to be makdish, and that's why he has to redeem it. But his wife's clothes, he doesn't have kavanah for it, and that's why he doesn't have to redeem it. When he's makdish in the chosom, he also wants to give his tefillin away. I'm makdish in the chosom, so by thinking mitzvah ka'avidna. I'm doing a mitzvah, and therefore I'll also give my tefillin away. But to give away his wife's clothes and his kids' clothes, he doesn't have any kavanah to do that. Why not mishum eva? Because it's going to get him upset. His wife's going to be angry at him. He'll have shlom bayis problems. His kids are going to get upset. But tefillin, he has das to be makdish. Matke flor boishia. So what we're holding now, we're saying that the reason why a person's not makdish his wife's clothes is because he never had kavanah to be makdish his wife's clothes. That's why it doesn't become kodesh. In this, over here we learned, in this Mishnah, we learned echad the makdish nechosov ve'echad the marich. Also someone who says, I'm going to give bedek habayis my value. And we said, we take away from him a mashkin. And we said, you don't take a mashkin of his wife's clothes. But over there, you can't have the svara, they doesn't have das on that, because we don't care what's his das on his wife's clothes or not, because you take the mashkin, wherever belongs to him. Vitnan, and we learned in the Mishnah, so we take a mashkin of him. When a person says my value, does he want to be a mashkin being taken off him? He doesn't want a mashkin being taken off him, but still we go and take his mashkin. So even though they doesn't want his wife's clothes to be a mashkin, we don't ask him. So why did it say that his wife's clothes are not included? Elomai, it must be because you're a shliach of your wife. When you buy it and it becomes hers and it's not yours, and we could see that there is a din of shlichus over here. Elomar Rabba, a new teretz. When someone is magdish his nechosim, this Peretz explains that when he buys the clothes and he paint, etc., and the sandals for his wife, he's zoiche for them when he buys it off the seller. Already, straight away when he buys it, this sandals, let's say for his wife, he's zoichet for his wife, and therefore when he's makdish all his possessions, it's not included in possessions because it belongs to his wife and kids. And also that the same applies to Erchin. Why don't we take a mashkin, his wife's clothes? Because his wife's clothes doesn't belong to him, because he's zoicheret already. When he's koiner for them, he's zoichet for them straight away. And therefore we don't have a raya from that Mishnah that it's midin shlichus. Ton Rabbanon lit alokech sode b'shem chaveroi. Someone who buys a field, and he says it's not for him. Reuven buys a field of Shimon, and he says, I want it for Levi. We're going to see the Gemara is explaining exactly what's the case. Now it's not so clear. We don't force him to sell. But if he said, I'm doing it only on the condition that you sell it to me afterwards, we force him to sell. Said the Gemara, my karma, what does this mean? What's going on here? Omar Rav Sheshes, says Rav Sheshes, I'll explain you. Ochi karma, this is what he means. Someone, Reuven comes to Shimon and says to Shimon, you know why I'm buying this field? I'm buying this field for the Rish Galusa, the head of the whole, of the Moradastra, the Rav, of the great person. And why does he do that? Because he knows if he says buying it for himself, people might come and say, oh, this field really belongs to me, and start making arguments. But with Reish Galusa, no one wants to mess around. So he tells Shimon, I'm buying this field, and I'm saying it's for the Reish Galusa, but really it's for me, and I don't want anyone to make any hassle to me. We don't force, afterwards in the shtar, it says that the field was sold to the Reish Galusa, but really it's to Reuven. So we don't force afterwards to the Reish Galusa to go and sell and write a shtar and say in the shtar that Reuven really owns it. If he said to Shimon, I'm buying it only on the condition that the Reish Galusa is going to afterwards write me a shtar and say that it really belongs to me, we do force the Reish Galusa to write a shtar to Reuven. We learned. Like we said, he bought a field and he said it's really for the Reish Galusa, but really it's for him. We don't force Reish Galusa to write another shtar that really belongs to Reuven. Michlal, we could see the makne kanile. We could see really becomes Reuven's field. We just don't force the Reish Galusa to write a shtar that really belongs to Reuven, but really becomes Reuven's. Leitner pliege de bnei Ma'arava lechera is choilek on what we learned before bnei Ma'arava who laughed at Rabbi Yochanan, who smiled at Rabbi Yochanan, the Amri that they said v'chimio yidu lebal chitin sheikne chitin lebal abayis, that they said who told the seller that to be makne the wheat to the original person who owned the money. So also over here he told Shimon that he's buying the field for Reish Galusa. And we say the din is that it becomes Reuven's, just the Reish Galusa doesn't have to write a shtar. But how does it become Reuven's? Shimon was makred to the Reish Galusa, not to Reuven. Says the Gemara, if this is a kasha, loy kasha, I have a teretz. When he came to Shimon, he told Shimon, I'm buying this really for myself. I'm just writing the shtar that's for the Reish Galusa, that no one should make issues. And he also told Eidim who saw the sale, and he told them, I'm really buying this for myself. So therefore everyone knew about it, so therefore he is koine Reuven. Said the Gemara, let's look in the Sefer. Doesn't make sense the Sefer. And Menas, if he told Shimon, I'm buying it on the condition that the Reish Galusa is going to write me a shtar afterward that's mine, we force the Reish Galusa to write a shtar and give it to Reuven. Why is it so? The Reish Galusa could say, I don't need your covet you're giving me, that you're saying, oh, if you buy it on my name, no one's going to make issues. And I don't want your embarrassment, that you're doing me embarrassment, that you're making me a field seller. Why are you forcing me? Basically, Reish Galusa, how are you forcing the Reish Galusa to write a shtar? The Reish Galusa had nothing to do with this. He doesn't want to write a shtar. It's not his business. Doesn't make any sense. Eloma Abaye says Abaye nupshat in this Brisa, Ochikoma, this is what it means. So Reuven came to Shimon and he said, I want to buy this field for the Reish Galusa. But he told Shimon, really, it's for me. We don't say that Shimon, after he wrote a star for they sold it to Rish Galusa, that we could force him to write a star that really he sold it to Reuven. If he told Shimon that it's almenas on condition, I'm buying this on condition, I'm doing the star to the Rish Galusa on condition that you're going to have to write a star afterwards and say that really you sold it to Reuven, to me, we do force him because he said a condition, and he said, I'm only buying it on this condition, so we force the seller to actually write a second star. Said the Gemara, we learned, obviously, what's the chiddush that you can't force Shimon to write a second star? Mechetesa, you should be able to force Shimon to write a second star. He never wanted a second star. So the Gemara, you might have thought Motzi Omale. Reuven could tell Shimon, you know that really I was buying it for myself and not for the Rish Galusa. And the reason why I said it on the first star, the name was the Rish Galusa, is because I wanted, Panachia means I was saving it to myself, because I know if I do it on the name of Rish Galusa, no one's going to say it's my field and make problems. And I'm not stupid to buy a field with no star, so it's obvious that I want you to write a star. The only reason why I did it, that you're going to write me another star afterwards, and now you have to write me a star. Komash Malon, the chiddush of the Braisa is the Omalei, the Shimon will tell Reuven, the buyer, in Yona Avdiloch. I thought you did a tnai, you did the arrangement with the Rish Galusa, and he'll write you a different star that he's selling it to you now. I never knew that I need to write another star. You never said it clear, and therefore I don't want to be involved, and I'm not writing you another star. I'm sorry. So we understand the ratio. Said the Gemara, but the Sefer, if Reuven told Shimon, I'm only buying you on condition that you write me another star afterward that belongs to me, we force Shimon to write this star. Said the Gemara, Pshita, obviously that you forced him. He said a condition, so the seller has to apply to this condition and keep it. Said the Gemara, lo, you know, Tricha, it's a chiddush, you need it, he never sold it clear to Shimon on condition. He said what happened was Reuven told the Eidim, Kamedi day in front of Shimon, Chazu, have a look. The star achino koboina. I want another star afterward that will say my name on it. So Mao the Tema, you might have thought Motzi Amalei. Shimon could say, Amina, I thought when he told that to the Eidim, Shtor ma'ech the koshakal b'shmei kamrus. You meant to say that you'll get another star from the Rish Galusa, the one that you're buying off on his name. Komash Malon, the chiddush is the Omalei that Shimon tells Shimon. Sorry, the Omalei Reuven tells Shimon. That's why I bothered and I told this to the Eidim in front of you that I'm going to have another star. Because I meant to say in this when I told the Eidim in front of you that I want the extra star from you, and therefore it's a condition in a sale. And if you don't do it, the whole sale is cancelled. And therefore, Shimon is mechuyev to write this. I want to give a special thanks to Moshe Cohen Akoyen that helped me with the channel, put a picture up and a background, getting me up and running. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Everyone should have a blessed time.